Hello and welcome to this very short discussion that we are going to have about what we are expecting tomorrow. Tomorrow being one of the most historic moments in this country, and how we are going to change the perception of the government towards its citizens, towards its people, towards how we are going to define what it means to be a person living in this country as a citizen in the republic of this country. Now, tomorrow is important precisely because Gambians, young Gambians and old Gambians alike, are going to come out and they're going to assert their rage, assert their anger, assert their frustrations, assert their everyday lived reality in this country. And I think that is very profound, no matter what way we look at it, that we are able to now get to a point where we can enact one of the greatest forms of supporting and enabling a proper democratic discourse and ethos in this country. It's one of those things that Gambia has not been very opportune to do, which is to protest. Now we must be very clear. A protest is not a violent event. It's not an event of spreading fear. It's not an event of creating sensationalism per se. It's about creating a narrative, a certain narrative. And that narrative is that the power belongs to the people. And as long as that power is usurped by the state, in that the state now removes itself from the wishes and the aspirations of the people, then that power must be reenacted. The citizens of every land who are living under a nation state, living under what would we consider a democracy, where the supreme law of the land is the constitution, which in the Gambia have already established the sovereignty, that sovereignty and power resides in the Gambian people. Now, when these are sentiments, right, and when they are not actualized, and we know in Gambia, the sentiment that the state is supposed to serve the people has always been a sentiment, but is that really, in reality, something that exists? What we have is a self-serving government, a government that has become an institute that only serve those people who are willing, not willing, serve those people who are willing to serve their master, who is usually the president of the country. That's what we see all over, repeating itself throughout the history of the Gambia, where the state now belongs to a clique of people, a cabal of people, the ruling class, where they now come together and then they steal at will, they cheat at will, they lie at will, they do everything that is endemic to a proper functional country. Now, when this becomes the norm, and this has become the norm in Gambia, every day there are corruption scandals, every day there is scandals upon scandals in this country about, babies dying, fuel being stolen. It keeps going on and on. You would think that they would take a break. You would think that they will at least for once respect the people and say, oh, let's just hold back. We've stolen enough. No, they continue. Why? Because the people have not asserted themselves that this far and no further. And that's what this protest aimed to achieve, that this far and no further. We cannot tolerate this, because why are we protesting against corruption? Nobody is going to protest if somebody walked and they gain their wealth. Nobody goes to somebody's house and protest that they're eating their money that they worked for. No. We are protesting because the money that they're stealing doesn't belong to them. Now let's look at it this way. The Gambian people pay tax every day of their lives. Even when you think you're not paying tax, you're paying tax. When you go to the shop to buy something, you're paying tax. When you enter a vehicle, you're paying tax. Whether you are paying directly or indirectly, but you are contributing to the taxation of this country. Yeah? And that tax goes to the coffers of the government. When they also borrow money through loans and grants and all those financial scheming that they do with international financial organizations and institutions, that money is not taken on behalf of Adama Barrow, it's not taken on behalf of any minister, it is taken on behalf of Gambians. So that money belongs to the Gambians. Now, when somebody steals your money, if somebody comes to your house and steals from you, what do? When you catch them, you take them to the police station, or sometimes you fight with them, I don't know, but you always retaliate. Now, these people are doing the same thing. So what is the best way to tell them that we know and we are tired? Our people are dying every day. I mean, literally, you go to the hospitals, you see death all around you. You see lack of basic essentials in this country every day of our lives. Now, when this is something that we are seeing every day, and we get used to it, and we become so desensitized, then we must do something that can shock us out of that desensitization. So this protest becomes also a shock effect that, oh, we cannot do this. How long would this go on? I mean, look at that protest we did when we were arrested. A few people. And then, when we were arrested, people came out to protest. What happened? They built they created a special select committee at the National Assembly, to look into the assets. They stole the assets that Jamia stole from us, and the president addressed the nation. So you have power. You can call them to task. And that's what we are doing. Nobody is saying, oh, we are going to burn down this country. We all live here. Who would burn down this country? Nobody is talking about violence. Why would we be violent towards ourselves? What we are saying is come out, bring out your grievance, bring out your anger, your frustration, and rage at this government in an organized, disciplined manner. That is the ask. And we hold them to account for what they have stolen from us, and that they return back our stolen wealth. That every hospital or clinic or health center in this country must be able to have drugs and doctors and nurses that can serve the communities that they're in. That every school in this country, public schools, should be able to cater to the young people who are studying there. That we should have better roads, just the basic bare essentials of life. Gambia must now move beyond the realm of necessity. What is the realm of necessity? The realm of necessity is when you are caught within, you cannot even transcend the bare essentials of life. How do you know that a society is caught in the realm of necessity? When people are hungry, they cannot find food to eat. When people cannot afford proper shelter, proper clothing, then they're still caught in the realm of necessity. When we cannot leave the realm of necessity, what would happen? There's more degradation, there's more crime, there's more violence, there's more abuse, there's, all of those things that create a society of insecurity, of fear. We descend into chaos. We start leaving the level of being human beings and descend into an animalistic society. Because, let's speak the truth. If you have kids and you cannot feed them, you have tried all ways, you cannot find ways to feed them. Would it be surprising if such a person resort to stealing and killing and doing all those things, robberies? No, it would not be surprising. Because they have to eat somehow, their families have to eat somehow. So how do you prevent that crime in society that we are talking about today? How do we prevent that insecurity? People must be able to afford the bare necessities of life. And we know, if you live in this country, that is an impossibility right now. A lot of Gambians are going through it. We see the high suicide rates in this country. And I see a lot of people say, maybe it's people killing them and then they're hiding behind the suicide. No, people are actually suffering and hopeless. When there's a certain form of hopelessness, when a person reaches it, then the only thing they do think of is, what is the point of living if I cannot even sustain myself? And it's already happening in this country. We must not be blind to the realities in this country. And that's what we are saying. That when we go out to protest tomorrow, this is the thing we're talking about. The 80% of impoverished and poor and dispossessed people in this country, how would the wealth that belongs to us be able to benefit those and everyone else? It is not fair that one person can steal millions of dollars where someone is struggling and a vendor in Serekunda market only makes, and they still have to pay their fares, they still have to pay the market tax. Yet someone has stolen millions of dollars and is feeding himself and his kids, and he is taking them, giving them the best treatment, the best education, upon the back of these wretched people, upon the back of these dispossessed people. Not the wealth that they worked for. Sorry, my internet was interrupted for a bit. Not wealth that they worked for, but wealth that they stole from us. So you go in this society, everybody watching this, anybody here knows someone who works in the government and knows that they don't earn that amount of money to build that type of house, to be able to go to those vacations, and all of those things. So we're saying that wealth must benefit everyone or it will not benefit anyone. It's either everybody eats or nobody eats, because the land, the wealth, everything that is in this country belongs to each and every Gambian. That's it. So that's what the protest is about. So we wake up tomorrow, we show up at this protest, we come with the highest discipline, with the highest form of righteous indignation at anger at corruption and mismanagement in this country, and let's make history, my people. Let them not take us for a ride. At least when the future generation comes, they will be able to say, these people didn't just stand by or sit by idly and watch this country go to flames or sink down into nothingness. They tried something. That is what we are doing. This land doesn't belong to us. It belongs to our descendants who will come after us. Like it belonged to us now because our ancestors were here. This land, this Gambia, is a trust that we are carrying, and we must do right by it. If not, the future, the generation that will come after us will not vindicate us. And we will go down in history as that generation of people who saw the mismanagement, the corruption, the poverty, the looting, and did nothing about it except to complain on social media. Which is also important. You can engage on social media, but it's not enough. We must be out on the streets. Let's raise our voices, our many voices, and ask for a new society.